The opinions, thoughts, and language expressed on this show are solely those of the individuals on the panel. They do not represent the thoughts or opinions of any employers, family or friends, corporations, sponsors, affiliates, or fake people. Please sit back and enjoy. All right, welcome everybody to episode 5. Episode 5 already of Fresh Cuts, a weekly episodic show where we talk about things, lots of different topics, barbershop style. I'm here with the crew, the panel as always, and let's get to know these guys.
Who's your barber, Ali?
What up? It's your boy Steve, aka Stevie P, and more importantly, Boston.
What up? It's your boy Black Stefan, Brujo Mars. Oh, and Boston.
What's up, everybody? It's Ali, aka Hoffa, and Boston.
What's going on, everyone? This is your boy Big Dave, here to let y'all know Boston.
This is the guy you know as the MERC, Lamerck. Boston. Hit subscribe and enjoy the show.
That word personally, I think it's dirty. I don't like to use it. I'd rather say cunt. I can say cunt all the time.
Really?
Oh, my bad. I was in the middle of saying it.
It doesn't bother me like it bothers some people, but I just never say it. Like it's just I don't know. I've never.
I think because white people make such a big deal out of that word, I can say it so freely. Like, I don't think anything of it. Like I really don't. But the P word to me is just like
Yeah, I don't know.
I never
no words really bother me.
I don't ever use the word pussy to like talk about vagina. I always talk about like a dude.
A
like,
bitch. Yeah, someone being a bitch.
See, but that's why I use bitch to talk about people who are the P word, and I don't use bitch to talk about women. I just don't.
I'm getting confused now.
So are you gonna finish your thought?
Yes. I got something to say. Sorry, because
long-winded Ali.
Let's leave.
All right, let's land the plane, Ali. Come on.
Yo, now that you said that, did you see the video of the guy who recorded his own plane crash?
We're just all
damn you, Dizzle.
We're just way off topic now, right?
No, so listen, let's save the Trump thing because I think that everything that we're saying here, I think people need to hear this stuff. They
Hold
really
up.
do.
So
like they do. But this is
everyone had 10-minute conversation. I want to get this off my chest real quick. One, nobody trusts Hillary. The consensus was she couldn't be trusted, and it's true because she cost people lives. Let's be real. A lot of people died because of the way she was. Secretary of State is a very powerful position, especially in the international community, and she did shady things. So it is what it is. In her self-interest and what she felt was better, it is what it is. Two, everyone voted for Trump for change is still dumb because you have a a responsibility to choose your vote to try to help what you think is going to be best for the country. So when you chose Trump, this guy, everybody knew what Trump was. Everybody knew he was a reality show. Everybody knew his ego, narcissistic maniac. Everybody knew he was about getting his money bag, that he was going to do some shady things to try to get himself richer. If you don't think after he's president, he's going to be trying to cash in on whatever deals he made, you're going to see some real estate stuff going on in other countries. You're going to be seeing a lot of crazy, shady deals with Trump.
Do you think that he's going to take care of his own?
His own in regards to his family?
Anybody who does business with him?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. He will take care
Yeah, of course.
And to me,
He's
that's
trying
what
to
people are
take care of certain key people that he has to.
Yeah, maybe the handful of people that literally pulling the strings on.
Yeah, exactly.
But look,
He looks out for his family.
Yeah, Ivanka, because he wants to sleep with her. But anyway.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So his whole campaign was about, like you said, immigrants are taking our jobs. We need to get more jobs in America. Meanwhile, before he was running, he was doing a lot of that shit, outsourcing into India, into Asia, into a lot of cheap labor.
That's every.
On top of that, which yes, a lot of people do that. But at the same time, look how many businesses are already leaving. Harley Davidson, an American, like it stands for America, left because of him and his tariffs and his stance on.
He basically went back on everything he said, and this is this is the main thing that people were saying. They're like, he's like a con man. He's gonna say,
and half of
he's
those
gonna
people
say
that
one thing
He's
and then
too
do something else.
alienating. That's the thing. He's too like what's
Divisive.
alien?
I think that you're right in that he is a polarizing character, but
Polarizing. That's the
but
word.
most importantly, I think the people who want to see change don't realize that the actions that they're doing are actually anti-change.
That's what I'm gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sorry if I cut you off, but what I was trying to say
fine.
is, and this I want to save this for the Trump conversation that we record and put on there because, like,
well, can you take snippets of this? Because I don't know if we're gonna repeat it.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry.
Can I say one thing? No, I'm sorry to cut you
Rob
off.
was finishing a thought.
Oh, my
Hold
fault.
on.
Go ahead, Rob.
And also back to how people vilify Trump voters, which it's really getting out of hand with that because it's almost as if you voted for Trump, you really are an idiot or evil or whatever. People are.
Yeah, I don't like that part.
Just the
Because,
way.
you know,
Go ahead. So, hold up. Just the way.
yeah,
Like
not
in
finished.
9/11, people vilified Muslims, and any type of tragedy, people vilified any type of stereotype ethnic group or whatever.
We're a blame
religion.
country. We're the country that looks to blame somebody.
Exactly.
Somebody has
There's
to
always
be blamed.
racism
It can
in
never be
something.
us. Like nobody in this country can blame themselves. They can only blame others. That's just how we are.
And it goes back to Ali's point of why you're never going to get that person to change their mind now because you put them in that light. Hate begets hate. So
how likely are you to change that person's mind even with a different approach? Like, honestly, like
we don't know. We don't know.
A lot of people are changing their minds now.
His like 38% base is never gonna change their mind. It doesn't matter what scandal or story comes out. That 38% like is always there. He might go up.
That's like, racist Midwest America, down south.
I don't know what
motherfuckers, man.
But you know what though? Not for Obama, not the same base, but fans of Obama, they were kind of the same as fans of Trump in terms of like no matter what he did, they're gonna love him 100%.
There's a lot of
so it goes both ways.
It does cut both. That definitely does.
I did want to say this one thing because when you guys mentioned that like the majority of the country feels like there's just something wrong, I think that's an incorrect statement because he didn't win the election because a minority of the country actually voted for him.
He didn't win the majority.
He did win the majority. He won the popular vote.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
No, he lost a popular
vote. He lost a popular vote by 2 million.
No, he won.
Like 2.5 million.
Yeah, he lost popular.
He won because of the electoral college.
Also, this came up while I'm watching something. Of the 2,551 separated kids, only 364 got back with their family.
Oh shit! I put the wrong year. I put 2018. How many came back to their kid? What?
364 out of 2,551. That's what.
Ali, you're wrong on this.
No, you're right. You guys are right. 65 million to 62. I guess the last number I had was 56 to 55. I didn't count
He won the electoral votes. That's why he's
The same thing happened with the last. I think was it on Bush.
So, but that's the thing you have to consider though.
Recount.
With all the shit you talk about with like, yo, I don't like that people are feel a certain way about Trump voters. Like, I feel like that's another thing. That's another part of it. Another part of it is that the majority of people in this country don't want this nigga as the president. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think you have to factor that in at like how ruthless people are gonna get in order to like voice that opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you didn't hear shit I said, bro. You ain't shit I said right now.
It's fun. No, but
I did.
What he said? What he said? What's the last thing he said?
What I say?
What he said?
He said, "Yo, Ali, half the shit you just said was wrong. I'm not feeling it. Can we move on to the next topic?"
That was the best. But how do you think Trump's 38% base feels about this whole Putin disaster?
But here's the thing: we actually have proof. They've gone and polled people afterwards, and they got shitted on. I think it was bad. I think it was really bad. So, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Typically, Wisconsin is a swing state during the election.
Yeah,
and it's typically blue. And for some reason, the entire state went red in this last election. So they went to Kenosha and they went to talk to people, and they were like, "Listen, this county was very heavy with Trump voters. They went into some bar. It was CNN who did it. It was.
I mean, can I jump in real quick? We don't even know how far this Russia meddling thing went.
We don't.
Oh, no,
It
we'll
keeps-
find
it keeps
out.
Coming
We'll
out.
find
More stuff
out.
keeps coming out.
But this is the Steve. Listen, I'm agreeing with you. I think there's some terrible, terrible facts at the end of this tunnel. At the end of this fucking rainbow, there's not a pot of gold.
Well, there better be.
There's
Because
Russian.
shit's gonna be. It's gonna be bad.
There's gonna
It's
be
gonna be
Russian
too
caca
late.
there.
It's too late. It's gonna be too late when we find out. His term will be over when we.
Well,
find
it's already late. I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
no,
like we still want to find out if there's something there or not.
there was some Republican representative here in Texas who actually put out an ad to get him impeached. Like, it's almost every month somebody's doing it, but now when Republicans are doing it, I don't think it's going to pick up more steam. And the reason why is because these it's starting to seem like people who are logically putting two and two together that Trump is now becoming a danger to our country are being overshadowed by what they call this movement, the Never Trumpers, right? Like the people who are like, from the moment that he started campaigning to today, have not liked anything he's done or anything he said and has found everything incorrect. That voice is overshadowing those who are like, hey, I thought he was the right person. Now I know he's the wrong person. It's getting overshadowed. So now the people.
That's what it is on both sides, though. Like, you always have the extremists are the people who yell the loudest. Like that's just always what it's gonna be. Yo, the same amount of people that are like, I hate this nigga, I can't stand this nigga, all this other shit. There's just as many people on the other side like sucking this nigga's dick, bruh. Like, just like anything.
No, seriously.
But anything.
No, there's no pause on that. I think they literally are. I think I was joking around about this earlier, but I think there are some people who may have gone down on this guy.
That's probably what Putin has on him.
I mean, Stormy Daniels did.
Yeah, and he denies that. And he denies that, or he doesn't deny it, but he denies that he paid to tell her not to talk about it.
Yeah, I was one of those people that was like, oh, you know, the president doesn't have that much power, like the separation of
the checks and balances.
Branches, the checks and balances.
That the Senate
he's doing stuff that I never knew a president could do. Like, he's just like,
well,
he's flexing.
Because he has no.
I never knew that. It was crazy.
Here's the crazy thing, Steve. This is what people who voted for him actually expected. They thought that he would go into that office and just start going, sign no more black people in America. Mexico's over. Done. Like that
wall.
And he's using the power of executive order and trumping the legislative branches around him and the judicial branches and saying, no, fuck all that. I got this job because people wanted me to do this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Other presidents want to use bipartisan approaches because ultimately they want them to stick there long term.
I don't think he cares, yo. Like, I was talking to my wife. I think he just wanted the win. Like, just to say, like, you can never take away that he was president.
He didn't want the win. He wanted just.
No, I think he did.
No,
he wanted the publicity.
To say that he's president, there's only like 45.
I'm talking about in the beginning. I'm talking about in the beginning. He was just. This was just to get
wasn't.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh,
right.
shit.
Got it.
But
Then
I'm
it
saying,
was like that.
once it became a reality that he could win, he was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just become president.
So here's the thing.
He looked nervous when he talked to Obama. That meeting he had at Obama when Obama was president.
Oh, yeah.
Trump looked shook, like I don't think I can do this job.
Obama leaned over and said, "Yo, you don't know
You gonna
what
fuck
you
this
just
up.
got yourself into.
Aliens.
Just in case you didn't know, there's gonna be a bag of shit in that desk for you on January 16th." He shook his hand and smiled and winked at him, did the mic drop and everything. But listen, on some real shit though, I've been hearing a lot of people say, why is it that he won't just admit that Russia tampered with the election?
He can admit that they did.
So
because that collusion.
Win.
Yeah.
Well, because I think everybody's looking for a way to delegitimize his victory, right? And I think regardless the Electoral College went the way it went, I think that the Russian tampering is just something that we need to go after Russia about. I mean, I don't think we should look at it and go, damn, that means that Hillary actually won the election. I don't really think that that's what we should.
Nah, but if he was aware of it, there's consequences.
If he was aware of it, that's a different story.
Aware of it?
Yeah, no, I mean,
or
if he was a part of it, yes.
Even if he was just a pawn in the scheme, bro. Like you gotta be the fuck up out of here, man. Like you gotta go.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's
still in there, though.
Either you knew and colluded, or you're too stupid to know that what was going on.
But I'm also hearing
I don't want you there.
Collusion is not illegal, so it doesn't all right. It comes out that he colluded. It's not illegal.
Yeah, but they'll find something. They'll do like the RICO shit on him or something
Yeah.
like that.
They're gonna hit him with
Somebody was
conspiracy.
embezzling money.
They could try to-
Colluding is
Somebody was
colluding is impeachable at least.
But even
Yeah,
at the
impeachment,
very least.
even impeachment, he doesn't have to leave office. Bill Clinton was impeached. He finished his terms.
No, he wasn't.
Like, all these things.
He
are
was
just-
impeached.
He
He
wasn't.
wasn't- yeah,
He wasn't kicked out of office. He was impeached.
Yeah, impeached doesn't mean you get kicked out.
Impeach means you have to face Senate for the possibility of being kicked.
So it's basically
So being
arraigned or
subpoenaed,
something
pretty
like
much.
that.
It's like being subpoenaed for jail, and
It's like your final warning at work. You're on your.
my
you're on
whole
your
thing with this whole Trump Russia thing is basically one, he sounds dumb. His stupid facts, everything's the best thing ever. His facts are all wrong. Two, every time I see him talk, I'm laughing my ass off like this is a comedy hour. And this is the president of the fucking United States. This is one of the most powerful men in the country. This is not supposed to be
It has
the
been
world.
an interesting time with him as president, though.
But this
It's
is not
always
supposed to
been.
be.
but interesting.
I know, but I'm just
interesting
saying.
has both a positive and negative connotation to it.
No, I
Exactly.
agree.
as long as we can agree that it's been interesting in a bad way.
Yeah.
Number three,
But you
it's
know
like
what?
street rules. He's
But then
making
you
us
know
look
what?
soft.
There is something to be said for like what really has changed, like for the majority of people. Like
Our country
myself,
is more
and
split than it's ever been
nothing has
before.
really changed. Like morally, obviously, I don't like 99% of the stuff he does. But like in terms of my life, like nothing really has changed. Like my mortgage is the same, my paychecks are the same, like my taxes.
Your
are
paycheck may have increased because of the tax
Yeah,
cut.
Yeah,
though.
no. So actually, here's the interesting things. There's actually a website that tells you like what every president did, like every micro action that they've done that actually went through
Send me
legislation.
that link.
I'll find it for you and send
Yeah,
it.
put it in the chat.
Like Obama, like people talk a lot of shit about the Affordable Care Act, like, oh, that's the only thing that Obama did. Obama has a lot of things that he did, both good
Jobs.
and
He
some
created jobs,
not
too.
so good. Agreed.
You know what's funny about the Affordable Care Act? You ask like people if they like the Affordable Care Act, they'll say yes. You ask them if they like Obamacare, they're like, nah, get rid of it.
It's the
They
same
don't
thing,
realize
yeah.
it's the same thing.
Because nobody
People
even
are uninformed.
Googles Obamacare. They just go Obamacare. It's terrible, and that's it. That's all.
And I heard that Obama went to Trump and was like, yo, you could take Obamacare, call it Trump care, just let it go through.
Now here's the thing.
Probably did say that.
Allegedly, like people are taking more money home under after the tax reform, right? That's true, but it's also saved some big corporations tons of money, which is a problem in this country. So there's a duality to that. The prime rate has gone up on mortgages, from my understanding. The actual cost of homes has gone up across the country.
But that's better.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
Depending on who you are.
Yeah,
of
but
course, there's people who can't afford a house nowadays,
100%.
and their loans are going to be really expensive.
Yeah, that's good for Steve.
Stock market's up.
The stock market's up. So people, whether or not,
Unemployment is down.
none of us here.
Yeah, these are trends that were happening under
Yes,
Obama.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I was like, none of the five of us here in this box right here believe that these are his doings. We think that this is like a trend that was inevitable given some of the changes of the last administration.
he
But
didn't
people
do
are-
this in the first
people
90
are
days.
crediting him for this because he's in office right now.
Right.
But to Steve's question, like what has really changed? This is what those supporters are actually believing. They're believing that, oh, there's more jobs. I think the unemployment rate went down too, like for the 15th consecutive month or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So now people are thinking it's his doing.
Or is it that they want to have something to point to be like, see, we got this. Like, yo, like when he released African Americans specifically unemployment and talking about it's at the lowest point that it's been and all this other like, nigga, you don't give two shits about that. You still on this. What do you have to lose? Vote for me. That's why
he does care about it because it makes him look good.
If it's true, but that's the whole point. Like, he invites Kanye and Steve Harvey to come holler at him, but it's like, you're not gonna. Why wouldn't you have like politically motivated individuals? Why are you bringing black celebrities up to your office? But you don't like. I have not seen one black politician. Have not seen like brings. If you want me to believe that came that. Oh, Ben Carson.
Yeah.
He's not a politician.
He's not a surgeon.
He's out of here.
That time when I did
Him and his
surgery on the
wife.
graft for
His
4
wife
years, I was
singing.
Yo, the funny thing is, my dad low key like kind of looked like him when he was a kid, when he was younger, and so like we all call my dad
Ben Barson.
we call my dad Ben Carson, and like ever since the election, he's like, yo, you better not ever fucking call me that shit again. I'm like, yo.
I didn't know who Ben Carson was until he started running, and then I would hear the stuff he says. I'm like, man, this guy, he ain't all there. Then I found out he was a surgeon and like one of the best. I was like, what? What?
But
He's not just a surgeon. He's like the best, like neuro.
Yeah,
but
a
lot of that shit, but a lot of the shit he said, a lot of like those accolades come from him. Like a lot of those, it's not like tons of
but time out.
outside of that shit.
I'm gonna validate this by saying one thing from personal experience. I've worked with lots and lots and lots of doctors. Most of
Yeah, I think you were gonna say Ben Carson.
I thought he was gonna say.
I worked with over 50 Ben Carsons in my life.
Ben Barson almost had a freestyle battle one time. But, I work with a lot of doctors, and doctors are looked at like as the highest level of society, right? It takes a lot to become a doctor.
A doctor.
You have a different educational background than most people.
That's a fact.
They tend to be some of the craziest people on the planet, like the way that they think. And I know that from experience, and that's why it doesn't really shock me that
You just scared to catch them gifted hands, son.
say what?
You scared to catch them gifted hands, son. What are you talking about?
Listen, man, he's surgical with them hands. I ain't trying to catch that. I'm good. No, but it's true. Like a lot of these dudes, like trust me, find somebody who you know in your family or a friend who's a doctor, and just go up to them and ask them anything about social, political, economy. They have the craziest ideas on how the world should work, and I'm like, and you're the person who people trust their lives in? They go, yeah. And they'll talk to their patients about this dumb shit the way that they
Craziest ideas, and they also party like crazy too.
Or you have to.
That's a high stress job.
Yeah, their job is insane.
12 consecutive years of hard schooling and postgraduate education. I think they deserve to get a little crazy sometimes.
Me and my wife were at a friend's house, and a mutual friend of ours, my friend's friend basically was a doctor, and he brought some girl that's also a doctor, surgeons and OBGYN and all that stuff. The female doctor pulled her titties out while we were all drinking, and it was random. I was like, what the?
They're still people, Rob.
Yeah.
They're still people.
Who you hang out with that's pulling out titties except for you?
I've known some crackheads that were willing to do that for anything.
So you hang out for crackheads?
Nah, you just grow up, in the neighborhood.
Merc probably has one of them downstairs with Los in his basement.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is you've never seen Lone since that first episode.
No, right? You guys blew up the spot. He was gonna let him live as long as he put lotion on him. Now all of a sudden,
Don't come for me. I have an alibi. I was right here.
Yo, real quick, Yankees reinstate El Gatti from the DL.
I think Glaber's gonna be back this week too, right? Or the end of early next week.
Yeah, and Manny went to the Dodgers. How y'all feel about that?
I don't really care.
Dodgers trash.
Oh yeah, Steven, he hates
we'll save that for the
baseball
section of this.
Yo, what's up with Kawhi, man?
Are we gonna dive right into sports?
What is up with him, man? What is up with his team? What's up with him?
Wait, guys. Before we go into sports, can I ask just one question around the horn here to finalize this Trump thing? You guys think he finishes the 4 years?
Yes,
I think so.
Finish.
I mean, can I say this? Can I say this? Even though I don't support the majority of the stuff he says or does. I still don't want him to do bad. He still is the president of the country.
I don't think most people don't want him to do bad.
I don't think most people want him to
with
the exception of the Never Trumpers or whatever they're called. I think once someone becomes president, whether you like him or not, you want him to be good.
Yeah.
Why would you want him to fail?
I gave him I was with the Chappelle, right? Remember Dave Chappelle in his stand-up? He said, "Mr. Trump,
yeah,
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and give you."
But did you see his last special though?
Which one?
No.
Where he took all that shit back.
If he took all
Yeah,
that,
he took it back. Yeah. No, and I feel the same way. It's like when it first happened, I told people it's not the end of the world. He's just the next president of the United States and whatever.
And your thoughts now, sir?
Oh, I mean, I've told you guys this for as many times as you can listen to me. I think he is now proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that he is not capable
100%.
of.
Ali's been hoarding canned foods and water bottles in his basement.
Absolutely. I got my two-way radio set up in the garage. I'm ready. I'm on down. So I got to put spikes in front of my house. Ain't nobody coming. But I don't think the man is capable of a singular positive thought that makes sense to our country's progress in that position. I just don't think it's possible. I've seen the man struggle with public speaking. I've seen the man struggle on the global scale. I've seen him pass legislation with executive orders that really don't make sense and then take it back. I think the amount of backtracking that he's done, and remember, the backtracking is not his desire. It's the people around him trying to protect him from himself. And that's frustrating to me because I'm like, at least just tell him, guy, let's shake hands. You were president for 2 years. Step out. Let's, as much as I dislike the guy too, put Mike Pence in. At least he knows that how to fake it for the next 2 years.
Just as bad.
He might be worse.
Is that like the main thing with Republicans is like they're selling their souls so they can get certain things done or passed, right? So like
I don't think you could just blanket all Republicans with that.
No, but
a lot of Republicans getting screwed.
well, let me finish. Like the majority of them don't really speak out against him because they know that like under him they're gonna get like they already got 2 Supreme Court judges, might get a third, which is crazy. They got the tax cut. Like I don't know what's next on the agenda, but like these are things that they've been trying to get passed for years. So they're willing to like put up with him.
They're gonna deport you, Diddy, and so we're gonna lose 2 of our podcasts.
Izu, I was born here.
I'm just saying. They don't care.
Show me your birth certificate. Show me your birth certificate.
I'm gonna have to go get the long form, otherwise they ain't gonna believe it.
Diddy, Lily's Dominican too, right?
Yeah, but she was born here. I'm a citizen, bro. Get out of here.
Yeah, you got a green card first, or what?
Y'all call.
No,
I don't have a green card. I'm naturalized.
Well, that's it. It's on paper.
Yo, Rob acting like he ain't getting deported too.
Stevie P was naturalized when he married that first man he met here in the U.S. So congratulations on that.
Real quick, I feel like everything Ali's talking about, like really, you could really point out like one thing as like the major problem as to like why all this shit happens the way it does. The 2-party system is trash, dog. Like the 2-party system.
Yeah, I think
trash.
Thank you.
Like, this shit is it's like nuclear proliferation, like politically. That's all this shit is. It's like one side does something crazy, the next side has to do something way crazy to the other side. The next side that comes in is gonna get even more crazy until like we just fuck everything up. Yeah. And that's
with those parties, there's tons of other little parties in it.
But those parties don't win anything.
I had to switch cameras.
You said switch the camera every time we switch topics.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm actually do that.
This is the first time Dizzle sees this side.
I had to switch cameras.
What's up with Kawhi, yo?
Let's start with Ali having the Cavs colors as his painting on his wall.
Wow.
Yo, if they become purple and gold, bro.
Son, let's go.
It actually
Let's
is.
go.
Wait, listen. I want to change the camera because I want to talk to you guys. I have a problem with 2 parties.
I don't know why, but this camera looks like more official. Like
that's why he's mad. He's about to get sick.
So I thought that the saddest. Do you know why the election?
Yo, Dizzle just criticizes everything on the podcast.
I'm about to be booted.
Yo, can I get serious with them for a minute?
I'm sorry.
Yo, before you continue, Ali, I got my mic. Same one you got, but it blew.
Where is it? Let me see.
Take it.
All right. Hold on. Let me find it. I'll be back.
Well, he
No, forget it.
Wait, hold on.
Damn it.
It's gone. There you go.
So here it is. I want to talk to these people who are watching this right now. Everybody said one way or the other. Some people said that this was the saddest election day ever in the history of the United States of America. And I actually agreed. It wasn't because of the outcome. It was because of the way that I finally felt that voting was actually not, a privilege in this country. It was a dilemma. I think on that day, I had to choose between the worst of two evils in my mind, and that is how I voted. That is a problematic two-party system. When you have two parties who are engaged in the kind of turmoil that we see every day on Capitol Hill,
That's not going to change.
and over the media, I'm not saying that it's not going to change immediately, but we need to push.
I don't know if it's ever going to change. There's
Yeah.
there's way
It's
too
been
much.
going
There's
on
way
for
too
how
much
long? 100
money
years?
involved.
We
Like, no
100
matter what
years?
side.
Too much money in politics.
but
How
we
long has
need
been
to push,
two-party
guys.
system?
We need to
How
push
long has the two-party system been going on now?
since the first election.
1800?
Since the
But
first
it's not. But it's not.
there's always been
1800
little-
years.
But it's not
There's
just a two. It's not just a two-party system. I mean, it is, but technically, it's not. Like,
Yeah, but the other parties hold no weight.
Exactly.
Agreed.
And that's what the
But
problem is.
okay, but to Ali's point, he's right with the two-party system, and in the lower levels of government officials, it will work. Because look at this girl that just won Queens and Bronx representative,
Ooh,
Ocasio.
she's getting
She-
hammered on the news, by the way. Like, because
Yeah, left and
she's a
right.
socialist.
Republicans going in on her.
Democrats too.
But that's because
Yeah.
they turned because exactly she's more of a liberal
not part
on
of
the
the
Bernie
establishment.
side. Exactly. But she won off how much? She was 100-1 against funding odds against this guy.
Isn't he
So-
still on the ticket, on the ballot?
No.
He
I
said
don't
he
think
said
he
he
is.
took himself off, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Oh, he
took himself
did?
off.
Yeah,
He's taking a
called
hiatus right now. He'll probably go for bigger things later on in the future.
Listen,
But
man,
anyway,
I think you guys are right. It's going to take. It may be a while before we see this, but I think we need to start pushing to say this is uncomfortable to feel like we have to be forced to choose between two people. I don't like it when people make the decision not to vote and say, "Oh, I don't like either of them, so I'm not going to vote." Because ultimately, one of those people will be for the next 4 years impacting your life in a small way or a big way. It doesn't matter. We'll have it.
And I think this is what had the biggest impact on Trump winning, because people are tired of seeing the same names in office, Bushes, Clintons, whatever. People weren't feeling Hillary like that. She didn't really have a movement behind her, and they just took a gamble. It's like, yo, let's see what Trump has to offer.
Also, blame got to go to the Democratic Party too. Like they shadily got her ass up in there on that ballot.
Yep.
Like,
You're the Bernie dirty.
so, like if you're a Democrat, like you know this whole, and you're upset that Trump's in office, like you have as much blame to go to your own party.
And to the 1.4 million voters who voted for Jill Stein, I'm looking at you and saying it's your fault. It's your fault.
no, it's not that.
Wasn't she really backed by Russia though? Didn't that come out?
So there's a video of her at a dinner with, I'm not sure if it's Putin, but it was like somebody in there in his cabinet. Trump and her are all fucking sitting.
That was at Mar-a-Lago, whatever his little.
Yeah, that was definitely at Mar-a-Lago.
I remember that.
Crazy.
Last thing.
Yep.
What was I going to say? It's really the people in like Wisconsin, the young Democrats didn't push them to vote. People that didn't show up in those swing states that needed to come vote. Like
Ali, what was your point about Wisconsin?
Oh yeah, no. That so we'll wrap this global political section with this. They went to Wisconsin. They go and talk to all these folks, and they're like, some of them said that they voted for Obama, but they just wanted to see change this time around, and Trump was that. Some said, I'm not sure that I'd vote for him again in 2020. Others were like, I think he's stronger than ever. And they went around and like more and more people kept saying, yeah, I think he's proving that he's more than capable of a leader. Now you're probably going, who are these people, right? But CNN went there with the expectation that they were going to finally prove that these Trump supporters have switched sides. And to Stevie P's point, that 38%.
How long ago was this?
But this was 2 days ago, right after the Russia meeting.
2 days
right?
ago? Oh my God.
So that 38% is not budging one way or the other, because they are committed to seeing these next 4 years ride out however it is, because they think they're winning. They think they're winning, guys. So with that, we'll wrap up this segment of Fresh Cut, and we'll get back to you on the next Fresh Cut soon.
Yo, resist though.
All right. So now,
All right, yo, hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's a
got
nice
it.
one.
Yay!
That's a nice one.
Oh.
I got a blue one.
You got the blue Yeti. I got the silver blue Yeti.
Isn't there a cooler called a Yeti?
Yeah.
So the guy who
It's
created
supposed to be official.
the guy who created Yeti is here in Austin, Texas, and my boy is friends with him at work. So
Yo, get us a cooler,
he
bro.
gets a bunch of free Yeti shit from him.
Give me a cooler.
Yeah, give me a cooler.
Give me that cooler, bro.
Yo, there's hold on. There's
Yo,
another
Ali,
mic
my
I need.
wedding's coming up.
Oh,
I'll
man.
take a Yeti cooler.
That's the best cooler in the business.
Yeah, hands
It
down.
is hands down.
Hold on, you talking about the cooler nigga or the mic nigga? Is the nigga that you know?
No, the cooler.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Texas, they're not building no mics. It's hot down there.
The Yeti, not the
deer in
blue
there.
Yeti. All right. So this next segment, we're gonna talk about everything sports. I want to get P to dial in. Let me see if he's still around.
He's gonna complain and say
Is it gonna show his picture up? Or is it just gonna have his name?
Yeah, so let's do this.
He's gonna troll.
I
Wait,
wanna put-
do you have
I
the
wanna-
hang up button ready?
All I gotta do is hit mute on him, or I can just kick him out. I think I can.
All right.
Yeah, like
I want a special code when I go like this, mute or something like that.
Oh yeah. So real fast before we dial P in, first let me see if he's even around. P.
You took too long. I was waiting.
Yeah, he has his phone right here. He's on the couch and he's like, "Did they text me yet?"
He's been looking at it, and now when we message him, he goes,
He's just like,
"I fell asleep, guys."
Yes!
He's been looking at his phone the whole time.
Yo, y'all P imitation sounds a lot like Eric.
Nah,
Oh, yeah.
Eric's is more like, "Nah, son, this is mine. Who you be piping, son?" That's Eric. P is more like, nah.
You sound like the fucking DMX skit.
Yeah, he sounds like Mickey.
Whose dick you suck?
Mickey.
Eric asked that question too.
Oh my god. Eric doesn't ask it; he answers that question.
He's asked that question.
he's asked.
I know it's recording, but it's not recording, right? Like
No, it's
right?
recording, but it's
cutting.
This is in between segments, so
cool.
This I'm gonna explicitly like zoom in on you, and during the intro section, go. We smoke
We're
weed.
talking sports, right? Oh, get Rick Adelman out of here.
Rick,
Hold on, how did the thing switch around, or is that just me? Is that just on my?
I think
that's just you.
no, it's
Yo,
not,
why does NBA TV do that shit too? Like they put those fucking borders on the side.
because they don't have the quality to
trash.
upgrade the HD.
That's trash, man.
Oh, that's so trash. But I saw Jordan. I was like, Jordan hit six 3-pointers.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I was watching the '98 finals. Yo, the NBA was mad fucking slow. God damn.
If you guys go back and watch
Wow.
any NBA prior to like 2004, the game is much slower. It's much
It is,
slower.
but it's
And I wanna tell
much
you
more
that
physical too.
These guys are super athletes nowadays, man. They can jump over fucking cars. They can run through buildings. Like I think.
Yeah, but the rules changed too, though.
So I mean, but you
But
still
it's-
can't deny the fact that a guy who can do like a 500-pound
Yeah, that's true.
deadlift can run through these guys who
Yeah,
trained by doing laps on the sand like 20
Yeah.
years ago.
It's the same thing with NFL too. I swear, like every year I go back and watch like the previous year shit, everybody seems slower. Like every year these niggas is getting mad faster.
But there's
So
always a
that's-
cat that's.
Oh,
transcended
that's
that
all
era.
the Miami Dolphins thing that they're talking
Yeah.
about finding
Oh.
players like they kneel during the anthem now.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got to talk about that.
Steve said that was Cowboys.
I don't
voted for
understand.
that.
Well, the Cowboys
I
did that last year. Jerry Jones said that shit last year, and they.
Yeah,
cut-
but
they
I
actually
don't
did
understand why
that.
that's such a big deal. Like,
Oh, it's not going
Yeah.
away, Jizzle. It's not going.
I know,
away.
but like,
The
it's
NFL
just
going away.
wants to get rid of it, and they cannot. They cannot.
you know, it's not like they're
It's
putting the
going away
middle
for
fingers
you.
up the air and like, yo,
you want to know how it goes away? You really want to know how it goes away?
stop talking about it.
Let them do it, and when they do the national anthem, change the fucking channel to commercials. Like that's it. Like we don't need to watch
That's
the
how it used to
national
be.
anthem. We're not there. Why do I need to watch other people stand in the middle?
They didn't used to do this though. They used to play the national anthem and the players were in the locker room. This is
It's
something that they
money.
started like in the 2000s.
Of
It's
they
for
course.
have
money
to-
because
It was,
military
it was
pays
the
them.
whole
It's the
Super Bowl.
military.
It
Exactly.
was during the Super Bowl, like catching people's emotions when they're looking at the flag, and then they're like sweating because they just warmed up, and then they show you what cleats they were wearing and what freaking
What
like,
was son
name
that played for the Denver Broncos that had the crazy like this nigga?
Romanowski?
Bill
running back,
Romanowski,
running
bro.
back.
No. It was a black
The
dude.
running back, the
Terrell.
tears, the
No.
tears.
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, it was the tear.
No.
Like his tear ducts was crazy, son. Like
There's
he
one
had-
of the
Oh,
running
you're talking
backs.
about actual
Oh,
tears.
oh, I don't. Yeah, I remember what you're
I thought
talking
you were
about.
talking about
Not
the Black
Anderson.
Panther.
nah.
Nah, that dude was waterfalling. He was the emoji.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I can't
He
remember
was the
his name.
emoji.
He was definitely the emoji. And fuck Bill Romanowski, man.
Oh, Hogan coming back.
I do want to talk about that for sure. Like
Hogan's
maybe
coming back?
he came back
They're reinstating him into the Hall of
reinstated
Fame.
him
When? On Monday?
Sunday at Extreme Rules.
Yep.
The dude came into the locker room and had a conversation with all the talent. And here's
Oh,
where
he
they-
needs to apologize.
yeah, but here's what he did because he's a fucking idiot. And I'm gonna actually put this in the episode because I want them to hear this shit. He's a fucking idiot who's not remorseful about the fact that he used these words. He's the idiot who would stand in front of a group of people and say, "You got to be careful because you never know when somebody's recording." Oh my God. It's not that I use the N-word to describe a black person. It's that somebody was recording and you never know when somebody's recording. How do you think the people of color in that room are going to feel when you just told them? It has nothing to do with you feeling like the word was insensitive, derogatory, offensive. No, it's just that you never know when somebody's recording. Keep that in mind.
There's a lot of people of color in WWE right now, too.
And they're all putting out statements about how uncomfortable they feel. Like, not that he's back, but that he wasn't sincere in his apology. And I'm fully in support of them. Like, to me, when I hear somebody say that, the mistake that they made is, not realizing that these things can get out there, it's like, you really haven't learned anything.
But it's a good point, but it wasn't the time or the place to say it.
Exactly. This guy, Josh Hader. So we're going to dive right into this stuff here. Josh Hader from the Milwaukee Bucks.
Can I get the whole story? Like, I know like the snippet, the basics.
So Josh Hader, Milwaukee Brewers. He's a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. Got selected to his first All-Star team. He pitched, ended up giving the home run that tied up the game.
Yeah.
That wasn't the big story. The big story was by the end of the night, the MLB commissioner in the office had found out that tweets have been released from when he was a teenager that were offensive.
But I thought that was old though. Like, isn't this?
Yeah, it was when he was like 17.
No. So is there a different guy who just got drafted?
Yeah, there's a different guy you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a guy who, while he was at the All-Star game, was being asked about these tweets because they had just been released during the game. So there's a little aspect of somebody definitely was hating at that point too. It was like, oh, he on TV? Let me make sure they know who he is.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the fact that he said these things, and I think
when did he say these things?
He was like 17 years old.
He was a young kid, and
was it really bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I hate gays, using the N-word.
Yeah.
Oh, these weren't rap songs. These were just.
Well, actually, I don't know if he said something about that. It was racist and like homophobic.
No, because somebody lost their stock. Their stock in the draft pick went down because of this, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Villanova.
Oh.
Villanova's white boy that hit the winning shot. Killed it in the final.
Yeah.
But that's what happened to old boy in the NFL draft when like they released the video of him smoking weed out the
mask.
Yeah.
Tunsil,
Miami
guy.
Yeah.
And Steve, to your question, it wasn't like he had one or two. He has a history of what people.
I heard it was bad.
Yeah, like he has a
history. Hey, he did blame it. He was like, there were probably some like rap lyrics or something like that.
What song?
I just feel like
I don't know.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week on episode 5 of Fresh Cuts. We always appreciate you guys joining. Hit subscribe below. Share this on your networks. Call us at 833 Fresh Cuts. I don't remember the number. We're going to put that in the comment section below anyway. And I'm Ali, a.k.a. Hoffa, joined by, to my left, all the way from Long Island now.
Dizzle.
And
originally from Elias, though. Come on.
Elias. All right, fine. And to my right, all the way from upstate New York, as I like to say.
Stevie P.
From Queens
Some Merc.
and out in California,
Black Stefan, Brujo Mars, we out here.
this is episode 5. We appreciate you guys joining us. See you next week.